Well, good morning, everybody. I had something I wanted to show you. I checked on my cabbage this morning. You know, that cabbage bottom that we put in the water. And look at there. Look at all those roots. You know what that means, don't you? We're going to be planting our cabbage bottom this morning. So, I'm going to take it outside in just a second. Got to get my boots on. Already got my socks on. I just need to slip my feet in my boots. I always keep them here at the door. And it's cool out there this morning. It's like 48 degrees out there, and it's only going to be a high of about 57 or 58 today. It's downright chilly. And what I think I'm going to do is put it in that big pot right there on the porch. So I'll have my celery on one side, my cabbage on the other. Because I think that pot will maybe handle my cabbage. Because, you know, cabbage gets pretty big. But we're going to try it. So I'm going to go around here and get my trowel. Ooh, that air's cold. We need a coat out here this morning. Tell you what, though, the plants are loving it. Look at all that. My Chinese cabbage and my kale. And my spinach. Swiss chard. All of that stuff. Loves it this morning. Yep. My little pots are there. And I got to see about these here, too. I got to start putting some stuff around them. Because I don't like the dirt being splattered up on my plants when it rains. And look at there. I think that's broccoli there. I'm not sure. Forgot what I planted there, and I didn't put a stake, so I don't know. But anyway. I'm going to take my bucket around there because I'm going to have to get me some wood chips. I don't think I'm even going to have to open the greenhouse today because it's cold. The sun's not shining. So that stuff will be all right like it is for now. Go check on my seedlings out here. I still got to get me some concrete. I haven't been out there to get any more. Oh yeah, look at there. All those little sprouts coming up. I don't know, some of the pots they haven't started yet, but that one like there, one started coming up. Bunch of them in there. Starting to come up in there, and that one over there. So I think I'll have marigolds this year. Whew. That wind is cold, y'all. Cold out here this morning. Instead of flipping it, I'm just going to do this number and hope I show you what I'm doing. But since I had this pot fixed from last year and it's got plenty of good dirt in it, I'm just going to plant it right in there. But I can't believe those roots. I mean, look at that. And it's only been a couple of days. A couple of days, and look at all those roots. And this dirt's already wet. You don't want to cover it too much. And then I'm just going to take the compost tea that it was in. I'm going to water it around it with it. And I guess I got my arm in front of the camera. Now, what else I wanted to do was take my bucket out here and get me some, need to water my aloe vera right here a little bit. Because, you know, we put it out here yesterday. It could use a little bit of water. Not much, because that water's damp. Well, you know what? I don't think I'm even going to water it. Aloe doesn't need much water. It's already got plenty. But what I'm going to do is go out here and get me some wood chips. Oh, we got something coming up in here. I hope it's not no moonflowers. And I'm thinking that's probably what that is. I don't want moonflowers to take over this little pot. I just want my lettuce growing in there. Because I'll have plenty of moonflowers come up in this big one, I think. And this might be the last year that I'll let it come up in that pot, because I may pull it out. Oh, there's my little buddy. I may pull it out and put it all out here in this rock garden. Get it out of my pot so I can use my pot for something else. Ooh. I don't see any coming up in here yet. But that don't mean that they're not going to. Let me get a stick. Because I see some of these that need to be covered up a little. Trying to get this here so I can step out there and get my wood chips. Oh, look at the moonflowers. They're really doing some growing out here since it's cooled off. I mean, you know, it's started warming up. It's not hot yet. Yeah, I got moonflowers coming up in that little one right there. See those right there? That's moonflowers. I got one over there. And I really didn't want it there. Why do they come up where you don't want them? I'd rather have my mum there. But I may have to pull my mum out and let the moonflower have it. Oops. I tripped on the rock, y'all. No, he's pushing the camera. Little feller, little buddy, he was pushing the camera on me this morning. Yeah, he was pushing the camera on me this morning. Whew. But this is for one that I want to do. Because I don't want all the dirt to be washed up on my plants when it rains or when I water them. And this helps keep your plants clean. And it also helps keep them moist. And they'll greatly appreciate it. I got some growing in here too, but they're not big enough yet to do anything with. And I got trees growing. That's one thing I can grow. Just get me up some soil and keep it watered, and I'll grow trees. And I'm going to put some around this. Because it looks like that Chinese cabbage is going to make it. It looks pretty good. But see, putting that wood mulch around it will help it keep clean when it rains on it. We'll do this one the same way. I always try to wait and make sure they're going to make it before I put the wood mulch all over them. Because you never know, sometimes they may not make it. I've got one here. It not only keeps them cleaner, but it helps hold the moisture in when it starts getting really hot weather. Myself, I like plants that I can break the leaves off of and just take in the house and eat. Or I can stand in the garden and eat them. Don't have to worry about so much about washing them 10 million dozen times. Now I can do these that way. Let me get the... Oh, something else I wanted to show you. Look at my raspberry bush. I kept looking at the stalks thinking they were going to come up on the limbs, but they haven't. They've been putting out new growth from the bottom. Isn't that neat? So my raspberry bush made it through the winter. Don't have to worry about it. And if you don't have wood chips, leaves will work fine. Leaves will help keep it real clean too. Just put you in a bunch of leaves all around it. And I may have to go get me some more of this get some more of these wood chips. Turn my camera so you can halfway see what I'm doing. I don't know. See how good those plants look? But they're gonna like it even better when I get these wood chips around them. And you can just pull the leaves up, make sure the leaves are on top. And it don't take many. Some things I use the wood chips, some things I use the leaves. Either one will work. But it's almost like your plants know that you're taking care of them. And we are supposed to get rain, I think, tomorrow, if not today. Up. The wind kind of worked it down, so it was a little hard to get up. And those plants were kind of little, so I wanted to cover them, so I knew nothing would get in there to eat them, hopefully. Seems like I'm standing on my head 99% of the time, working in my garden. Get all them trees up out of there. Don't need no trees growing in my cabbage. But that's basically the way you do it. And I don't think I'm going to have quite enough to do this last one. Well, I don't know what I'm showing you here, but I do need to go get more. Get around here and get this camera. Go get a little bit more of them. And I don't know about my moringa tree. I may end up putting a tomato plant or something in there. And if the moringa tree comes up, that's fine. And if it don't, that'll be fine too. It may come up from the root when it warms up a little bit more. And I'm pretty soon going to have to separate my carrots and put them out in a bigger pot. Just not sure where I want to put them yet. I would have thought I would have used up my mulch by now, but I've still got plenty. Or not mulch, wood chips. Yeah, I don't know if I want moonflowers coming up in my mums. But it'd probably look pretty, I guess. I don't know. I got some coming up there. So I don't think I'm going to have to plant any more moonflowers out here. I think I'm going to have plenty coming up from last year. Not sure what I want to put in this pot yet. I got some more onions coming up in there. And look at that. In just a day or so, look how tall that red onion is. There's 3. If you can see down in there. It's divided up into 3. So I'll have 3 red onion plants out of that. 3 out of the yellow onion back there. 2 out of that one. And 3 out of this one. They're not ready to be pulled yet. I don't know if this camera will sit up here. Set it in the carrots for right now. Because we need a few more in here. A few more wood chips in this one. Yeah, I always wait till I see if my plants are going to make it. And they look like they're going to go ahead and grow for me. I'll go ahead and put wood chips in them. And I'm not going to do the carrots or the beets because they need to be pulled out and put somewhere else. But yeah, a couple more days and I'm going to have to get some of those out of there. And I'll have these pots open to put something else in. Just have to decide where I want to put them. I think I'll put these wood chips in a pot and just let them sit here. I got quite a few pots that I can use to plant stuff in. Like I said though, I'm not quite ready to plant everything yet. I'm at least going to wait till the 12th before I put stuff outside, other than what I've already got. There, that'll be wood chips on hand that I can use when I need them. I mean, just look at this. All of these are little oak trees coming up from the dirt that I gathered from under the trees. I definitely don't want oak trees growing in there, so you got to keep them pulled out. And that's, I think, a zinnia coming up right back there. And these are gladiolas. I don't know why I planted flowers in this pot, because I ended up sticking a tomato bush in it too. Which I'll probably put a tomato bush back in there this year too. We'll see. And I think I had some tomatillos coming up from the seed right here. And I dug down around in here and I think I kind of messed them up. So I covered them back up because there's a tomatillo, and look at the seeds. See the seeds? Spread them seeds around in there and they'll probably come up for me. I won't have to plant any more there because they'll come up from the seeds from last year. Look at this. Look at my clematis. Can't even talk this morning. Look at that. It's taken off. Since it's warmed up just a tiny bit, it's really taken off. And see, I left all the old vine there so it has something to climb up on. Look at that one up at the top. That's a brand new vine from it. So that is going to be pretty. And I can plant some other kind of flower in there with it, you know, that'll stay low to the pot so it'll look better. But I'll do that later. I'm not going to do it now. And look at this one. Look at all that new growth coming out on that clematis vine. It's going to look beautiful this year. Hopefully we won't have that extreme heat like we had last year. And it'll be pretty. You see a baby's breath over here that needs to be pulled out. Yeah, the wind blows all these wildflower seeds over here. And grass. So I end up with grass and wildflowers growing in here where I don't want nothing growing. That's the reason I put these leaves all down in here. But see there? That's a baby's breath. And these wildflowers. But I've got to put more leaves in here this year. I haven't done it yet. Because a lot of the leaves had not fallen. I've been waiting on leaves to fall. Waiting on leaves to fall so I could, and look at there. I'm not sure what that is there, but it's not an oak tree. I'll have to wait and see what it is. I mean, there's an oak tree coming up beside it. Right there. That's an oak tree. This one here is. That one is. But that right there, that might be a clematis. And to tell you why I think that might be is because, see these little feathery right there? Those are the seeds. And the wind blows them everywhere. So that could have been a seed that got in that pot and started a plant. And if that's what it ends up being, I'll just pull it out and stick it over here in the pot where the other clematis is growing. But yeah, I got to get more leaves out here. But I don't know if I'm going to mess with it today. And that mint's looking really good there. It's beautiful. Yeah, I'd been waiting for more of the leaves to fall, and they're falling now. So I'm going to have to start raking pretty soon. Look at this. Even in my cinder blocks, I've got oak trees coming up. See that? But it's not a big deal. Just keep them pulled out. Just keep them pulled out. See, there's one. There's one in my tote. Yeah, I walk around them quite often and pull out some of these because I know they're oak trees. Oak trees and the wildflower seed that got blown in the pot. Or either wildflower seed that was in the dirt. I could probably put mulch around that. Some more. Help keep it growing good this summer. Yeah, go around along here and you find little oak trees coming up in these cinder blocks all along here. Look, there's one I missed right back here. But that's one of the things, you know, you have to put up with when you make your own soil, because you don't really know sometimes what kind of seeds you're going to have in your soil. You know, like an oak tree or some kind of wildflower. But just stay on top of it, keep them pulled out, and you won't have any problem with them. Yeah, I think there's at least one in each one of these cinder blocks that I haven't already pulled out. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Could be something come up from compost. There's just not a bit of telling. We got clover coming up in here. Yeah, that's something you have to do before you plant in your totes and pots, is to get any of the stuff that's growing in there, you know, that don't belong in the pot. Get that pulled out. I gotta put more dirt in this one. Look at that beautiful rose bush. All that new growth, all that dark, that's the new growth on the plant, on the bush. It's gonna have beautiful roses on it before too much longer. And it'll be even prettier when these other ones catch up. The ones we just planted. And look at the clematis coming up to here. I think all of this must come up from the bottom, from the roots. It must not come out on the old vine. But I'll leave the old vine there so it has something to grow up on. It'll help it grow when it does start vining. And the vines will latch onto the old vine that's dead. And it'll travel right up the arbor. But yeah, this is just all part of gardening. Weed control, so to speak. I don't know what that was. Oh, that was another plant coming up from the seed, and I thought it was a weed. Look at that. It's from the little ball of seed pod that was there. Should have left it, but I broke the root off, so. And see, there's another one. That's coming up from the little seed. See the seed, the little part of the seed is still stuck on the stem. And I'll probably have them coming up all in the yard from where the seeds fell too, but that's okay. I can keep those mowed. Because it was covered with little seed pods like that. Yeah, there's still more I gotta do. Just have not completely. There's an oak tree coming up in my tower here. Yeah, because I built my own soil in here, remember? It was all from native dirt, compost, and a little bit of potting mix, not much. But I got onions growing in here and garlic. Yeah, this littler one is the onions. And I'm going to be planting some more stuff in here on these open cups when I start transplanting stuff. And I put a handful of marigold seeds in that little pot. So they should be coming up soon. I got something coming up there, but I don't know what it is. So I'm going to leave it alone. Wait till it comes on up and I can see what it is before I pull anything out. I got this pot to do something with. And that actually had that it had the Mother of Millions plant in it. But it didn't make it. So I'm going to plant something else in there. I'm not sure what yet, but put that there because I'll leave it, let whatever I plant there grow up on it. And I don't know what that is coming up in there either. Almost looks like a moonflower plant. I don't want moonflowers in there. That's my, or it was my Malabar spinach. And I had a big old onion growing in there. I don't know what it is. That was the biggest tomato plant last year. It grew, the roots grew out of the bottom of the pot, down in the dirt. See if I can get that off. Yeah, that tomato plant was one of the big tomato ones. And the roots grew out the bottom of the pot into the ground. And oh my God, it had giant roots in the ground. That's why it was living so good last year. So I may plant me another tomato plant in there this year. I'm going to leave the roots of that Malabar spinach. I don't know if it'll come back up or not. I'm not really a fan of the Malabar spinach. It doesn't do a whole lot. Or it hasn't for me. The leaves are usually so small you really can't harvest them. Yeah, there's always a little bit of cleanup to do, as well as everything else. Gardening is almost a never-ending story. There's always cleanup to do after your harvest or after the gardening season. And then there's always mulching and composting and a lot of stuff to do to get ready for your new spring planting. And that potato it's looking really good. I'm going to check on my little tiny lettuce seeds. I got 2 of them up, but it certainly don't look like the ones I had before, do they? I really need them down. I might put them on that. Oh shoot, y'all don't know I spilt the water. Put them down there like that maybe. And I'm going to keep on till I tear up some stuff here. Might give them a little bit more light down there. I don't want them in the direct sun, but... And those little tiny Tims look like they're happy. They're still trying to grow. And look at there, my tomato plants are putting out more leaves. So hopefully by the time they're ready for transplanting, look at that big old mushroom. Hopefully by the time they're ready for transplanting, we're not going to have any more freezes. Probably didn't even need to do that, but I did. I get over anxious and I'm watching these other ones, and I know it's only been a day or so since I planted the seeds in there, and it's been kind of cool, so they've not had time to germinate yet. Let's see. I'm almost afraid I'm going to keep messing with this till I'm going to dump the whole thing over. Because I can't hold this camera and do all this. Let me set that right there just a minute. I was thinking if I could turn it the long way, I could kind of put it over the top of this. Yeah, like that. That way, hopefully, there's no danger of it falling. There, that'll work. I'll leave it like that till the sun starts coming out again. I'm going to tear the door off of that thing one of these days, coming in and out of there like that. Yeah, I still haven't been online to see about getting the replacement plastic for that. I got to check on it. And I wanted to show you too, look how much my compost has fallen just since it's been there. You know, when we filled it up the other day, it's starting to settle down, and it's rained a couple of times, so that helps settle it down too. And you've got stuff growing in my compost down in there. And it's in the complete dark. Wouldn't think anything would grow in a closed-in compost bin. Yeah, but I think for sure that those are tomatoes or pepper plants. I think it's tomatoes. I think it's tomato seed that came out of one of the little tomatoes that I had thrown down in there last year. And the seeds have, you know, germinated and started to come up. And there was a few thrown in here. I was hoping they'd come up too, but it might be too early for them to come up on their own out here. Oak trees coming up in here. In here. Yeah, if you keep them pulled out when they're little, they're not hard to pull out at all. If you wait till they get bigger, they really put down some deep roots, and it's hard to get them pulled out without breaking the root off and leaving part of the root in there, and then they'll come up from the root. You see? Pull them when you first see them, you get roots and everything out. It's like that. Look at the long root on that thing. A little bitty plant. That's got a 5-inch root on it. And it's not going to be long before we can come out here and just direct sow stuff. Those walking onions are looking good. Look how pretty and green they are. I don't know what that is. That's not an oak tree. Might be some of the seed that was planted in there. I had radishes and something else in there. I don't remember. Well, I don't know what else I'm going to do today. I'll think about it. I might get out here a little while later and start doing some raking. If the wind quits blowing, I may just get the blower out here and blow the leaves from the yard back into this section so I can put them in there around the pots inside the cinder blocks so the grass doesn't grow in there on both sides. And it breaks down and it helps build up the yard too. I'm just not, I don't have the urge to get out here and do that right now. Don't ask me why. Like I said, I do things on the whim. I get up one morning and I start looking around and all of a sudden I decide I'm going to do something and I do it. And I put another bucket out here and that lid does not fit down on it really good. But I figure it's on there good enough that it'll keep mosquitoes from getting in there. And I poured some of the compost tea in it from those little buckets right there from the runoff. So when it rains tomorrow, they don't overflow. I left a little bit in them because it weights the bucket down so the wind don't blow my bucket away. And see, I need to put more wood chips down here too. I haven't finished what I was doing out here. I was going to put more wood chips everywhere around in here. Because all the stuff is growing in here now. I need to lay some more cardboard and get in more wood chips. But I don't want to use up my cardboard that I got till I know we're not going to have any more freezes. Because I may have to use that cardboard to cover up stuff. And there's some more of that old Bermuda grass. I need to get some weed killer and put it on that. Because, man, that stuff, I hate it. It takes over everywhere in your yard. And I never had any till I ordered a load of topsoil one time. And I should have said garden soil, but I said topsoil because I was figuring they were the same thing. And they delivered some good topsoil, but it had grass seed in it. And it was that old Bermuda grass. That needs to come up. It's hard to get back in here with the rose bush here. But oh well. You just have to be careful around your rose bushes. But all that's... all this is the wildflower seed that I had put out a few years ago. At least it came up, you know. But people say nothing will grow in wood chips. So I hope this shows you that that's not true. Not only acts as good mulch, but it keeps the ground damp enough that your plants grow better. Even the ones you don't want. I mean, all of this is actually wildflower seed. It's wildflowers that I had planted years ago. But I didn't put them here. This is just where the seeds flew over the yard and ended up over here. And I don't even care really if they grow here. I just don't want them to smother out my rose bush. It looks almost like a wild strawberry. Oh, I just popped my top off of my solar light. I need to buy some more solar lights. I noticed some of them have stopped burning. So that means their solar thing is not working properly. Sorry about that. I thought I was showing you what I was doing, but I was just pulling weeds here. Some of the wildflowers. Because I've got, that's grass right there. And this is grass. That's grass. That's grass. That's some of that wild purple flower thing that I told you blooms around Easter time. That was all over my yard. And I think I've planted gladiolas or something else in here too with them. I didn't want too much in this spot because my AC unit right there, it has to get air. Oh well, that looks a little bit better. That's a big old baby's breath right there. And like I said, it's pretty when it grows, and it blooms. The only thing is it has those fuzzy sticker things. And I'm moving my rocks when I'm trying to do this, because they're not cemented together yet. I just placed them there. I said sometime in the future. They might end up getting, I probably need to come around here with my hoe, my garden hoe, and do that. I'll do that later. Go check my bird feeder. Yeah, I need to put some seeds in there. They feed out of this one a lot more than they do the other one for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. Well, I do too. The seed probably got thrown over here. A seed to the moonflower. But I'll leave it. It might help my mums growing. And that's what that is too. That's moonflowers coming up here. That's probably why the rose bush didn't make it in there. Those moonflower roots was taking all the moisture. But it's taken many years to figure out to plant something in there that would live and come up every year. And I think the moonflowers is going to be it. And I know over time they'll probably drop seed outside of the rocks, and I'll have plants coming outside the rocks. I may have to move the rocks out further or just mow them down. Because if they're on the outside of the rocks and they start growing, I can keep them mowed there just like I do the weeds and the other stuff. I don't think that'll be a problem. But see, all of this is pretty little flowers. They're just little bitty. If they were bigger, they'd be beautiful. They're a beautiful color. But that was all in some of that wildflower seed that I had put out. And I threw 2 pounds of wildflower seed out in that section last year. So I'm anxious to see if any of that's going to come up this year. All of this here, that big leaf there, that's a wildflower. Those are too, right there. They come up all around here every year. I planted some, and every year they'll come up. All of that is wildflowers. And they're going to be beautiful when they get bigger. And they put out flowers that are about 3 inches in diameter. And they usually have a ton of them come up around here too. Not along with the baby's breath. And I got to get something on this oak tree because I don't want no oak tree growing right there. I got to get it taken out of there. But all that, most of that is wildflowers. And they're going to be blooming, and they'll have 3-inch diameter flowers, and they're going to be really pretty. That's one reason I don't want to mow. It's nothing but wildflowers out here. My whole yard is basically not grass, it's wildflowers. And it's going to be really pretty when they start blooming. Plants are not big enough yet, so. Yeah, so I'm anxious to see what my cabbage is going to do, and my celery. Celery looks like it's liking it there. Look how pretty it's growing. I may have gotten it too deep. I don't want it to be covered up with the dirt when it rains on it, but and I'm not sure what I'm going to put in these 2 pots yet. But look at there. That's some brassicas right there. I think it's like it's some of the salad mix. I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, next time I get me another celery, I'm gonna be planting another celery. I'm gonna root it, and the next time I get a cabbage, I'm gonna do the same thing. And if that'll give me 2 or 3 heads of cabbage off of that one little cabbage bottom, I'll be tickled to death. And with that, y'all, I'm going to wish you a blessed day. And as I said before, I need a lot more subscribers. Subscriptions are free. So subscribe to my channel, hit the bell. You'll get notified every time I post a video. Share my videos so your friends can see the videos, and maybe they'll subscribe. And just share, like, and subscribe. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see you on my next video. Bye now.